Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today I have with me another doula client from Portland, Oregon, and I was lucky enough to be her doula for two of her births, both of her births. And so, yeah, Nava, I would love for you to introduce yourself and just who you are.
Okay. I'm really excited to be here, so thank you. My name is Nava, and as Allison mentioned, I live in the Portland area and have for several years now. Um, but I've moved around everywhere, so this isn't like my home, but I grew up in Japan and moved to different places, and I ended up here where I met my husband, and then now I have children, so we're kind of settling down here. Um, and I have two young children who are turning 4 soon, and a 1.5-year-old. I know time goes by so fast. Um, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, currently. And before that, I was an educator, a middle school science teacher, for many years before I had children.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wow. Yes. And I remember it so clearly when we met, or I think we even had our interview that you had done like a doula training or something also.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't even mention that.
You
Yeah,
had, you've done it all.
yeah. No, I had such like just from the time I was really young, I had such a fascination for like pregnancy and birth, and I loved everything that had to do with it. So even from like when I was little, I would always say, I want to be a midwife. I want to be a midwife, like to everyone. So, and I was the only person in like the health classes and stuff that would just sit there and watch like the births and like be so excited about it. Everybody else was like looking away. um, so I loved all things like pregnancy and birth. And when I was in college to become a teacher, I was kind of pursuing that on the side. So I was working with midwives down in Southern Oregon at their birth centers. And then I moved up, and then I wanted to, during COVID, I had some time at home. So I was like, okay, this is a time I'm going to get trained as a doula as like a first step. So I did that, yeah. But then
Oh,
I got pregnant and then had a baby, and then it kind of derailed. But yeah, I'm still so glad I did that. So we always wanted, I mean, you always talk to your partner about like a certain time frame that you guys like have in mind, right? And then so our team was in graduate school to become an optometrist. And then during that time is when like the whole shutdown happened. So, and then it was also within that time frame. So we're kind of like, oh, should we try now? Should we try later? I don't know. Um, and it happened really quick, like faster than we thought. So it kind of just like bumped up our time frame, which was like totally fine. It actually, now looking back, it worked out so perfectly. It was hard, especially for him with his schooling and like how rigorous it was. But also at that time, his time was so flexible, a little bit flexible in like he had breaks and winter breaks and time off, and then he could be home sometimes and at school sometimes. So it was just really nice to have that presence of him when we had our first. Um, so I guess we just, yeah, I don't know. There's not like a really, like, it wasn't very calculated. But when we found out we were pregnant, I had a really hard time. And I don't know if we want to go into this, but um, okay, yes.
yes. Everything.
um,
I want to know everything.
I felt like, so my whole perception of like pregnancy and the glory and everything like just automatically shifted when I became pregnant, because as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was very sick. I was in bed all day, couldn't get up, had not morning sickness, but all day sickness. As I'm sure many pregnant mamas like know. I don't know why they say morning sickness because it's all the time. But yeah, so it really put me in this like this mental space that I've never been in. And I felt really alone. And I know Artine was there, and that's my husband, and he was an amazing support, and he was always there for me and helping me like manage those emotions and calm and everything. But still, it was like a lot in my brain, and I've never experienced those feelings before. So yeah. So I think I had like prenatal depression or something like that, that came up, and not like it wasn't like diagnosed or anything, but it was just hard. So like feeling excited in the beginning, like I didn't have that. And although I was like super thankful, and like I always wanted to have a child or children, and I was thankful that like that was the step obviously to get there. But like in those, especially in the first trimester moments, just being deep in just sickness and those thoughts, it was really difficult. But yeah, so thankfully that's like something I wish I heard more about, because I didn't. I knew about like postpartum depression, so I was like prepared for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, our team, let's read these books just in case. Like I've never had like depression or anything before, so like I didn't think I would, but we were prepared for that. But then like I didn't know it was gonna come so quick. Yeah, so then like after the first trimester, it got a little bit better, and then it like progressively pretty much got better, at least like mentally and emotionally for me it did. And then that's when I like got to like prepare and get excited and like buy things and all that stuff. Yeah, so that was like kind of my pregnancy journey for the first one. Second one was completely different.
Of course, always.
So different. Yeah. So aside from like just getting spaces ready and getting all the things that you need, or especially Artine, which I appreciate him so much because he's really studious and like loves to educate himself. So he got all like the pregnancy books, and he would be like telling me like, oh, this week this is happening to your baby, and like this is the size, and if you're feeling this way, that's okay because this is normal. So, like, he was like all into it, and I loved it. It was so good. And he was also such a good support because like he would help me through. Also had gestational diabetes, so that was like really rough for me, because I was always hungry and I was determined to like fix it or like keep it monitored through diet and not taking insulin. I did not want to do that. So my whole diet shifted, and just on top of everything else that's going on in pregnancy, it was a lot. But he was so helpful, like going grocery shopping for me for the things that I could eat, and then just monitoring like what I'm eating. That sounds like weird, but during that time you need to
you have to be
controlling way.
Oh yeah, no, like I totally know. Like you have to be super on it. Like if you're with insulin, and then like moving your body right after, and like all these things.
Yeah. So like he was really on it with like helping me through that period. And then I would have to like prick my finger 4 or 5 times a day to like always check my blood sugar. And if it even went up a little bit, the nurses would like call me and talk to me about it. So I was like, we were like so determined that like we did not want to take insulin. So everything was through diet and exercise. So he was great through that. And then I decided, I mean, I already knew even before I got pregnant, I told Artine, we're getting a doula. When I do, I want that support. I know what that does for a pregnant mama and giving birth. And it's like essential. It's like a non-negotiable. And he's like, okay, I don't even know what a doula is. Like way before. I was like, okay, that's fine. Just let me do my thing. Like I'm getting a doula. Yeah, because like I feel like even I got doula training before, but even so, like when you're going through it yourself, you just need that support from someone else who's not like in it. Like I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes so much sense.
Everything kind of just like flew out of my head, and I just needed like somebody else that's there for me and caring for me and the baby and like helping me through the whole process. So that was really important to me. And I don't know if you remember this, but I did get a doula. And then there was a certain like message interaction where I didn't feel like I was being supported, and I felt like I was bothering the doula. So then in that moment, I was just like, I just got a gut feeling. I was like, this is not the right person for me. And I'm so glad I listened to that. I think it was like a mother's intuition, honestly. Like it was just like a gut feeling, like this is the most sacred time, or one of the most sacred times that I'm going to have in my life. And I need that to be with someone who also like feels like this is a sacred time for me, you know, and is like,
and that is all in.
Yes, yeah, fully supporting me and like not making me feel like I'm a bother. Because if you're already making me feel that way, then when it comes to the most vulnerable time during the birth, like my body's probably gonna just shut off and like not do what it needs to do because I'm not feeling comfortable. So thankfully I had that interaction with the previous doula, and I was able to reach out to you.
So how many weeks were you when this all happened until, and also like, how did you find me? Like, how did that go with like, I don't know, emotions of like, oh, now I have to like interview more people.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was stressful because I was like, I took it so seriously, and I did like previously like interview with a bunch as well, and then I chose that person. So then it's like also time consuming, and at that point like you're just like, I need things set in place so I can just, like ride out the rest of this pregnancy. It was pretty far. I think I was about 7.5 months, 8 months, something like that. Like I was close because I remember you messaging me and being like, we need to have our first meeting pretty soon. Getting to the end. But yeah, so it was stressful to like have to go through the whole situation or the whole like process again. But it's okay. Like I knew I had to, and I knew it was gonna pay off. So I just reached out to, what was it? Birth First. Yeah. Yeah, and they were so nice, and like I just gave them like a description of what I was looking for. And they matched me with a few people, and then I had interviews with all of them, and then you were one of them. And me and our team just like fully clicked with you. Like we just knew from the very beginning, we're like, this is who's gonna help us. She's gonna be in our lives for this important moment. Like just your energy, and you're so caring and gentle and loving, and like you knew what you were talking about. Just so many things just like aligned so well with us and what we were looking for. So it was like a instantaneous decision between our team and I. We're just like, yeah, that's her.
No, and it's like on the other side of the screen, you know, even though it's like a screen, it's like you feel it. Like, that's the doula. just like, I hope they hire me. I hope they
Yeah.
hire me.
Yes, that's so sweet. But yeah, it is like it's a two-way thing, you know, because as a doula, you have to like see if their personalities fit with you too or aligns with you, and it's a really important time. So like it has to go both ways. So that's sweet that you thought that too. That's good.
Oh, of course.
um, oh yeah, so then we had you as a doula, and then after that, it felt really good because you're just the visits at our home beforehand to prepare us was really nice. Because we've never done it before. Like I've learned about it, but we've like never gone through the whole process before. So it was really nice for you to have like information and come in and look around our house and be like, oh, like you might need this and this and this, and helping us for like when we do give birth and then come home, what we need to have prepared. So like we're that type of people where like we need to prepare and then we'll like feel good. So that was really nice.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that that was helpful. And I love always going through the house. I'm like, show me what you have.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, I feel like you too. I mean, you both were prepared and you were willing to learn. So I felt like that was just such a great connection. And I was just honored to be chosen on your team. Even if it was later in the game, it was still like, okay, we can cover so much.
Yeah.
So how did it go then? Like now birth is starting. How did it
Yeah.
all start for you? And
Yeah.
take me back.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I can ever forget it. So we were taking like me and our team were taking an online like sleep training kind of course, and I'll talk about that a little bit too because my mindset has changed. But we're taking an online like sleep course for the baby when it comes, so we're like prepared and like yeah. It all comes back to like, yeah, we like to educate ourselves, I guess. Sorry, let me turn this off. Okay. And so it was the last video in the course, and we were in bed, we finished it, and we said, all right, it was midnight by that point and usually we went to bed early, like 9:30, 10. But we were like, we got to finish this for some reason. So we finished it, and then we said goodnight, and I just turned my body around, and then I heard a pop. Like it was just like a loud like pop. And then I was like, and then like I felt like a gush, and I was like, okay, our team, we're not going to bed. And then I was going to try to like be home for a little bit. That's what I wanted to do, just to like labor at home for as long as I could. But it didn't really work out that way. As soon as my water broke, I immediately started having like strong contractions. So there was like no like grace period. It was just full on from that moment. And I couldn't even lay down. I like standing up hurt, everything hurt. So I was just up in the bathroom. And then Artine was helping me, like rubbing my back and trying to get everything ready. And then we had dogs, so we had to call a person to come get the dogs, and just the logistics of everything before we go to the hospital. So yeah, and then around 2 a.m. So I think I was able to be home for a couple hours. And then at that point, it was just too, like I couldn't, the pain was too much. So I wanted to go to the hospital. So at 2 a.m., we headed to the hospital where we lived. I assume our team called you. I have no idea because you were there.
We're available.
Yes. I was just like shut off from the outside world, and I was just in my world now. So our team took care of that.
Yeah, he did.
And then you were there, and I remember I tried to start in the bathtub that they had, the birthing tub. And that was really nice for a little while, but I think my contractions were just so strong from the very beginning that like it really like consumed my body, and like I just couldn't like get to a headspace where I could separate from that. Um, so I think we were in the birthing tub for several hours, I think at least.
Had you gotten like an exam or anything right at when you came? Do you remember that? Or did you just like, no, I just want to get in the tub? Do you remember?
They did do an exam, yes. Because I was in like, what is it called? The triage room? Or
exactly.
yeah,
So
okay. I was in there, and then they did some like they wanted to make sure it was like amniotic fluid, so they took some tests, and I was like, it is.
no doubt.
And then they took me to my room, and then they did do some tests, and I think they hooked some IVs up to me too. And I remember that was really painful too, because the first nurse that did it got it in the wrong spot, so it was like radiating pain in my arm. And even in the bathtub, I think I had to like leave my arm up a certain way because I couldn't move it. It hurt. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was burning a lot. And I feel at some point, I think I told you or Artine, I was like, this literally hurts more than like the contractions I'm having right now. Like, can we fix it? Like, what's happening? But anyways, yeah, so we were in the birthing tub for a while until I couldn't, and then we walked back to the room, and you were so helpful with like all the different positions, and just helping me get into like what felt most comfortable for me. That was like just so valuable. Like every time anybody says like, oh, I'm pregnant, or like tells me like I'm pregnant, and like, do you have any advice? I'm just like, get a doula. I'm like, just please get a doula, because they are going to save your life in that moment. They're amazing. So yeah, so you're just so great about like being there for me and like helping me with the positions and pain points and helping me breathe and all of that. Just encouraging words, making me feel like I can do it even when I felt like I couldn't do it, just all of it. So it's really invaluable. And to our team too, he was just like so amazed at your support. And like we both said, like, we couldn't have done it without, well, we would have done it without you because you have to. We couldn't have done it without you, like, and like felt really good about it leaving. So yeah.
Oh, that's so
I
beautiful.
always tell you, I'm just like, thank you so much. You just really helped us so much.
No, thank you for finding me.
True. I feel like I was just in a yeah, and like people have explained it to me before I even like got to the point of giving birth, that like you're just not in this world, and like you're kind of there, like you're hearing things, but like you're not, like you're just in your body and that's it. So yeah, I didn't want antibiotics, you're right, and I wanted like minimal interventions as medically possible, or as safe for me and my child. So yeah, and I think our team did a lot of like talking with the doctors, right, and having them like I just remember like looking over and seeing all these articles on like the computer screen between our team and like the nurses or the doctors, and like them reading through it and being like, oh yeah, there's actually not a correlation with it. I just like remember hearing all that stuff. And I was so comfortable like with you and our team there that I felt like I could just be in the moment and kind of disconnect from all of that, because I fully knew that you guys were going to make the right decision. Like you know me, and I knew that like you could help me get to that like the place that I wanted to be in for the birth. So I was just like thankfully so comfortable and like kind of laid back, and I know certain things that I wanted that I communicated. And yeah, and then it did end up being that I needed the antibiotics, which I'm still kind of like, it caused a lot of like other trickling issues that I'm a little bit bummed out about, but it's okay because we're all safe and healthy, and it worked out. It was just a few hours of pain, and actually it wasn't even a few hours, it was so long. I was like, in the moment, I remember after I got the epidural, because I was like trying to stay away from the epidural, but I wasn't totally like, no. If I needed it, I was gonna get it. And I think after how many hours? I don't know, 13 hours, 14 hours, something like that. My body got to the point where I couldn't, like, I had no energy left. So I got the epidural. And then after a while, I took a little nap. I got to rest a little bit. And then I woke up and I looked around the room. I was like, where's Allison? And our team was like, oh, she's just right outside. Like, don't worry about it. And then I was like, okay. And then like an hour later, I was like, where's Allison? Not that I needed you. I was just like, where is she? And our team's like, she's just outside eating something. Like, he just kept like giving excuses. And I was just like, okay, I'm now looking back, I'm like, okay, I'm so glad like she took rest, because that was long. It was like 34 hours or something like that. 32 hours.
It's a
So
difficult too as a doula. You get to that point where you're like, okay, either I go and rest so that I don't have to call a backup and just fuel myself.
Right.
And there was no way I was leaving without meeting this baby, you know.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna do it, so I was just like, okay, I'll be right outside, and just call me back when it's needed.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Like, yeah, and I'm so happy that you did. Cause it was just funny to like hear our team like explain it. And then like later tell me like, oh, she actually just went to rest, but I didn't want to like stress you out. No, but I'm so glad you did. It was long and it was very tiring. I was exhausted. But then I remember just I don't know, I'm probably skipping over a lot of things, but I remember just getting to the end where I was finally ready to push, because I wasn't like dilating for a long time. I was like just stuck in the same place for many, 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 many hours. So then when I finally got to the place where they're like, okay, like you're ready to push. And then I was like, I remember asking, how long is this going to take? And they're like, it usually takes like maybe up to 4 hours, like 1 to 4 hours. It depends. And I was like, okay. I looked at Artie and I remember I said, I'm going to do this in an hour. I was like so tired. I was just like, I'm doing this in an hour. Like, watch me. And then I did it in an hour. So that was good.
So determined. You were like
I was determined. By that point, I was just so exhausted. I was like, get this baby out. I want to meet this baby. And that's it. So at the end, I remember that hour or so of pushing. It felt really good. And that's really weird to say. But like, because whenever people ask me, I was like, oh, the pushing was the best part. Like, that felt good to me, because I felt like there's like a finish, and also like the feeling of like her moving out was like, I don't know, it felt really nice. Not that it didn't hurt, but like
in a good way.
Yeah, it was like the pain was like purposeful, and it was in a really good way. So yeah, I pushed her out, and now I honestly, once in a while, I look back at videos, because I remember I told Allison, I said, I don't want any videos.
Like so many say, and I'm like,
yeah. I was like, I don't want any videos, but I do want pictures. And you're like, okay, noted.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll take a video and pictures. And honestly, like, I love it. So I'm so thankful you did, because I love just like watching my daughter Bahia is my first, just being birthed, and like me in that moment, our teen in that moment. It was just that's like a treasure that I would never be able to have back. So like once in a while, I'll just like pull up those videos and I'll watch it. I'd be like, wow, I was a badass. I was like,
Yes.
wow, I did that.
Yes.
Um,
It's important to capture that moment. I'm like, anyone's
yeah,
like, no, I don't want a video of the birth. I'm like, okay, just give me your
yeah,
phone. I'll take pictures, but there's a
yeah.
video.
And then I appreciate that so much because if I truly didn't want it later on, or I watched it and I was just like, yeah, I really don't want it, then I could have deleted it. But
Exactly.
like I couldn't have it the other way around, you know. If you never took the video, I could never get that moment. So I still appreciate that. um, and then so after Bahia came out, she was placed straight on my chest. And that was a really just sweet moment when she came out and cried, and I just heard her breath. Um, it was really magical. Um, and then I looked over and Archie was crying, and then I was crying, and
So beautiful.
um, then we said some prayers for her, and it was just like a really beautiful moment. And it felt like everything else that I had just gone through before that was just kind of erased.
Mm.
And then it was just consumed up in this little being, and us like getting together, like as a team, getting to that point. So that was really nice. But then there's like this other part that I think a lot of people don't or are afraid to talk about too, that like I wish I knew more about, was just like that disconnection. Wait, what is it called? Disassociation?
Mm.
Is that right? With the baby, and like just kind of like the connection was like really hard for me in the beginning. And I think there's a lot of factors in that too. And I remember talking to you about it and you mentioning some things that might have like made that happen. But I think it's just like all the hormones work differently in everybody, and just in that moment, like when I remember like family members or anybody would be like, oh my god, aren't you just so in love, like did you feel that like rush of love and this and that, and I was just like, yeah. Because like I didn't want to say no, but like I love this child. But it wasn't that like overwhelming feel of connection and love that I expected to have. And I think it was also that pressure that I was putting on myself as well. Um, so yeah, I felt like a little disconnection, and like I feel like my love, the deepest love and connection that I have for her, like built throughout the moments that I had with her as she was growing up, like in those baby stages, in the newborn stages, and in like the first year of life, just like, yeah, just like the day to day and being able to connect with her. And it wasn't like a instant like click when I just had her in my arms. So I don't know, that's something that I experienced. And again, for my second, it was so different. For my second, I felt that instant rush of like connection and love. Um, and it was, yeah, it was just the complete opposite. But I don't know. Like, I think it's just something that like women shouldn't feel guilty about, because it's a lot of pressure that we already put on ourselves. We just birthed the baby, we have hormones running everywhere, like we're breastfeeding, trying to figure that out. It's a lot of pressure. And I wish it was just more like talked about and accepted, not so taboo to say, because it's not that we don't love our children. Like I love her more than anything in the world, but like in that moment it was just different than what I envisioned it to look like.
Oh no, I love that you bring that up. Seriously, because it's like you said, we're not talking about it enough, and it's so common. Like with so many of my clients, where it's like I didn't feel
Yeah.
that instant connection, and it's just like you just want to normalize that for them. Like, yeah, that's totally normal. So I love that you brought that up, and
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to hear more about your postpartum journey and the breastfeeding, but if we were just to, because I want to be respectful of your time, to hop into, okay, now you're planning for baby number 2, how that all went and that story.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting story. There's so much with that. Oh my gosh. So when Bahia, my firstborn, was about a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half, we decided we were going to move to Saipan, which is a smaller island off of Guam. And our team got a job there. We had some connections there, and he got a job there right after he graduated. And we were just like, we're travelers at heart. We love like moving and traveling and learning about new cultures and people. And so like any chance we can do that, we always talked about wanting to like move abroad. So we thought like, this is the moment. We have one child for now, like, and we felt like we were just kind of stuck in the same wheel. So we were just like getting antsy. Let's move.
I remember that was such a wild thing that you were
Yeah.
telling, like, hey, so we're moving to this small little island.
Yeah.
And I was like so in awe of you. I'm like, you're gonna do what?
Yeah, I know.
So inspired, but I was like,
Yeah.
yes, so brave.
You know, I feel like we're a little bit naive when it comes to these things, but also like that's what helps us like,
I
I
love
don't
it.
know. That's what makes us like move and want to do these things. So anyways, we moved to this small island, packed up our whole life, like literally put in containers, shipped it to Saipan, because we were going to live there for at least, we were planning on at least several years, like 3 years or so. And then we were going to reevaluate after that. But so then we moved, said goodbye to family, all of it. My sister and her husband and her children moved too, because we said we were moving. Do you guys want to move? And they kind of have that same spirit too. They always wanted to like live abroad too. So they're like, okay. So he found a job and then they moved there first, actually. And then we moved there. And we got there. We were so excited. We unpacked everything. We loved it. It was beautiful. We were like finding grocery stores and trying to find like, just because the resources are very limited. It's very different than here. So it's a bit of a culture shock in a lot of different ways. But then like we were there close to Japan and Korea, and like everything's kind of like so close to there. So it's like a 3.5 hour flight to like all these different Asian countries. So like we got there 1 week, like the first week we're like, let's go to Japan. So like we've been there for like not even a week or 2 weeks, and we booked our ticket, went to Japan. We had our time there, and then it was amazing. And then we came back, and then like we settled in. And then so it was maybe about 2 weeks since we had arrived there. I found out I was pregnant with my second, Nyla. And we're like, oh my God. This is like, it wasn't the timeline that we had thought of. Like we definitely wanted another child. But like the timeline wasn't like planned. So anyway, so we're like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? Like we're gonna have this child here. We don't know about like the healthcare system or like the supports that we have, the resources. Anyways, and then around that same time of like right when we got there, my sister and her husband were telling us they don't know if they can continue to stay. So we're like, oh my God, now we don't have any, now we're not going to have any family or like anybody to lean on. We don't know anybody here. We made some friends throughout the process of like a year, but that's different than like really having the support that you need to be able to like take care of a toddler and now a newborn. And then our teen would be working full time, so I would just be home. I'm sorry. And then like throughout that time, we just found it to be really difficult to like find a community. There were no like doula support or any support like that. The hospital just had like OBGYNs and not even many of those, or just two of those. And then it's such a crazy story of like, I don't know if you want to edit this out later or not.
No.
Of like just going to like my OBGYN visits, and then Artin being the amazing person he is, he of course like is like, oh, I'm gonna look, what's your OBGYN's name? Like I want to look him up and see like where he went to college and things. And I was like, okay. So I just sent him the name, and then he's at work, I'm at home, and then he just texts me back a screenshot of mug shots of this doctor.
Oh
And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, oh my gosh. And like, I had heard like from being there, because we had a lot of like expat friends who were pediatricians and things like that in the hospital system. So they had like told me that like Saipan, unfortunately, it's a part of the US territories, but it's like not really funded well. So Saipan is one of those places that unfortunately, like when doctors like lose their license or can't practice in the States anymore, they come there to practice. So I was just like, I like heard that, but I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. Like, it's probably like once in a while that happens. So then I see this and I was like, okay, of course that happens to me.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay. So I didn't have a choice. Like I went to those visits anyway. He was nice. Like it worked out fine. But I didn't feel like there were so many other reasons with like those doctors like having difficulties with like in getting intoxicated while on the job and things like that. So I was just like, I don't feel safe. And then I also like felt bad because I was like, okay, like there's so many people on this island that just don't have a choice like I do. And then like just to like leave that behind and having like the privilege to do that like made me feel bad for like all the people that are on the island that like need that extensive care that don't get it, or like so and then also like if your baby was like premature at all, like they just didn't have the resources unfortunately to like be able to like deal with those situations. So then the women on those islands kind of know that as life. So like when they lose a baby because they're premature or anything like that, it's like that's life for them, you know? So that was really sad. But I made great connections there. It was just really a difficult, like health-wise, because a lot of the food were not fresh or it was expired, like the meat and things. We were eating like all expired meat. I don't know how we didn't get sick, but we didn't. Like there were no like very little like fresh produce unless it was like something that was grown on island, which was like delicious. But like other things like we didn't have to like sustain a healthy life. And I was worrying about my child, like me being pregnant and passing that on to my child, but also like Bahia, who is young and needs like good nutrition and exercise and upbringing and everything. Like it was just really hard with the limited resources that we had. So then when my sister and her family decided they were moving back, then me and our team were like, okay, we need the support that we need and we can't continue doing it here. So we stayed a year and then had to leave. I left right at like the mark of when you can travel, which was, I think I was 36 weeks. Yeah.
It was
And then,
so hard.
yeah. And then Art had to stay back and finish off his work. So it was me and Bahia and like all our stuff. And I was like super pregnant. And like just like we flew to Japan and then back home and the delays and everything. It was just a lot, but we made it. And then I remember when we decided that we were moving back, I contacted you because I wanted you to be at my birth again. And I was like, please be available. Please. Yeah. I was like, I need some like normalcy here. Yeah. So thankfully you were so kind and you accepted to take me again. And then at that time, like we were living with our teens' parents too, because we didn't have like a home here yet or like a place to move into yet. So that was actually also another blessing, just to have like family around that could like help me through that process of like having a toddler and a newborn, so that I could focus what I needed to focus on with like the newborn, and then having like enough attention and love still be given to Bahia as well through that transition. So that was like so important. And I'm really glad it worked out that way. It made everything a lot smoother. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just such a journey. I just look up to you so much. I'm like, you guys really did that. You you really did it. And it worked out so well because
it
did. So I remember having like, I think our first visit without our teen because he was still there. But then I don't know, the second visit, I feel like, did we even have a second visit? Was he there? I can't recall that. I feel like he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just remember like Bahia, of course, so freaking cute. And just like, I was like, oh my gosh, my little doula baby, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, human now. And now we're prepping for your second birth in just a few weeks. So
I know, and it was so cute how you were like teaching Bahia like how the baby's gonna come out of me too, and like that was just so sweet. I loved it. And she was like interested. She was just like watching, and then she'd just go play off.
So adorable. Like,
yeah. But yeah, so then and then that reminds me, I went to my like 36 or 7 week appointment, I guess. And then when I got there, they're like, oh, you're already 4 centimeters dilated, you're 80% effaced, you're like, and then like told me all this information. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, so what does that mean? And they're like, well, like, you're pretty ready. Like baby could come like this weekend or like this week or this weekend, like within a few days. And I was like, oh my God, our teen's not home. I was like, please don't. I was like, I need this baby to stay in until our teen goes home.
They should never say those things.
Oh
you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah, but I know. I also asked though, because I wanted to like be prepared, because I was like, oh, my husband's not home yet. Like, I need to know what I need to prepare. So they're just like, could be like anytime this week. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So then I had to go home, prepare everything, like get everything ready in case like he didn't make it back in time. Thank God he came. Like it was like close to when he was coming back, maybe like a week after he came. So he came back, and then we had another visit, and then like the last like 3-4 weeks was like so long, because I was like, this baby's still not coming out. They said it was coming like so long ago. And then like you have those like weekly appointments, and then the next week they're like, you're 5%, you're like yeah. And they're just like, it's baby's ready whenever she's ready to come out. And I was like, okay. And then at that point it was crazy, because like the last month I could literally feel her head.
oh my God.
Like between my legs. It sounds weird to say, but like I was like full on waddling, because like it was so uncomfortable. I felt her head so low. And I was just like, I can't walk anymore. I'm just like, this feels so weird and gross, like weird, just gross. So I was just like,
Gonna fall out.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like I had to like suck in to like keep her there, or else she was just gonna like fall out. That's what it felt like. Not reality, but that's what it felt like.
Of course. I love it.
Yeah, and then I remember talking to you, and you're like, oh, second one's gonna be a lot faster, because I remember I was like the first one was so long, and I was like, I can't do that again. And you're like, it's gonna be faster, and I was like, okay. I don't think my body's made for that, but okay. Like in my mind, I was just like, we'll see when it happens. And then funnily enough, like it was so quick. But yeah, so when that happened, I had scheduled an induction for that day. Yeah, I had scheduled induction for that day because it was like past, I believe, and like I was already ready. I was just like, I need this baby out of me. So we scheduled that actually at the 36-week 36-week appointment because they were like, you're not gonna make it that far. I was just like, okay, I'll just schedule it just in case. I made it that far. Nyla wanted to stay in there, and it actually happened the same way, but here happened. So I woke up, it was 6 a.m. because I had to be at the hospital, I think by 8 or something like that. So I had my alarm on, I woke up, and then I turned around to like get up, and then my water broke, pop again. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I got out of bed and I was just like, okay, like she has a mind of her own. She was like, you're not doing any induction on me. Like, I know this is the day for me to come before you start doing that stuff. So, yeah, so then my water broke. And then immediately again, like contractions, like full-on contractions. So this time I was a lot more like emotional leaving the house because I was leaving Bahia, and like that brought so many emotions to me. I was crying, I was holding her. I was just worried about like her not getting enough attention or her missing me when I'm gone at the hospital. A lot of those things like just flowing through my mind and my body. And then I finally, like an hour later, I got up the courage to just say like bye and kissed her, and I knew she was in good hands. She loves her grandma and like grandpa, and they had a blast. Apparently she didn't even ask for me or us at all. She didn't care. But
hardest for the mom,
which made me feel good because I was like so worried. But so about an hour later at 7 a.m., our team was like, you need to get in the car. Like, we gotta go. Because like I was also like, okay, I feel this baby. Like she's coming out. So he like packed everything in the car, got in the car, and I was like, oh, but I'm so hungry. I need to have breakfast before we leave. He's like, oh my God. He runs in, gets like bread and jelly and peanut butter or whatever. I think he just wasn't like even like thinking straight. He just like put anything together and brought it in the car. And then like we left, and then I looked down and I was just like, oh, I can't stand peanut butter. It's just like, I can't eat this. It's fine. I'll just be hungry, forget it. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as the last one. And you know, when you get an epidural, you can't eat like solid foods. I was like, hopefully like I can get something in me before. Anyways, we're driving to the hospital, which was like 35-ish minutes. And then in the middle, I was like, Artine, I have to push. Like I felt her and I was like, I need to push this baby out. Like she's coming out. And he's like, no, please. He's just like, he's like, just wait, can you like hold it? I was like, I can't, like I just like I'll try, but like I just feel the urge and I can't, like I couldn't like hold it back. So I was just doing what I gotta do. And then he called the hospital just to let them know we're coming in. This is all crazy. And then they told us like, Actually, like all the rooms are filled. Like we have no room to take her in tonight. Like there's so many birthing moms tonight. And we're like, we can't go anywhere. They're like, oh, they said to go to Hillsboro, which was like way the other direction, far away. I was like, I can't make it there. I just like took the phone. I was like, hey, I've been 5 centimeters dilated. I'm like, I don't even know how much effaced at that point, maybe almost like 90, 100%. Like I was like, this baby's coming out and like I'm like ready to push. And she's like, okay, never mind, come in, we'll make room. So thankfully they like made room. We went in. I was just like on the wheelchair, like just pushing. Like I felt like, yeah. So it was just wild. It was just wild how fast like everything was progressing. And then I remember I got into the room and then you came and then like how long after, I don't know, maybe like an hour, hour and a half later, or not even, I don't remember.
Probably.
Yeah. Then the baby came out because I remember my water broke at 6 and then I had her a little past 9. So it was like 3 hours total. I just like made it into the room and then birthed her.
I don't even remember. Did you try the gas? Did you do anything? Did you have
No. So
No.
with Bahia, I tried the gas.
Mm.
And that made me feel really nauseous. I don't know if you remember. And I did not want to do that again. That made me feel really gross. And then for Nyla, I was like, it was so intense. Like with Bahia, I felt like it was like the contractions were intense from the beginning, but it was more of like a gradual process. Also because I got an epidural in the middle and like it phased everything longer and like lighter. But with Nyla, it was like 3 hours of the most intense thing I have ever been through in my life. It was just like I can't even explain it. And then, so I wanted an epidural because it was painful. I remember they put it in, but it wasn't working because I was already too far along. Yeah. So they're just like, nah, you just got, you're at the end, just like push through. So I did, and I'm actually thankful because I had so much like less side effects from that afterwards. Like after I gave birth to Bahia, like I couldn't walk for a few days. Like it was just really hard to like do everything. Because like the epidural wasn't like weaning off. When Nyla, like I just got up right after. I was like, oh, I feel great. Like this is fine. That was nice in some ways. Yeah, so like when I was just like pushing her out, I remember it was so intense. I got to a point where I felt like I couldn't breathe. I'm sure you remember this. I couldn't breathe and I felt like I was about to like pass out or like something bad was happening. Like I just really felt like something bad was about to happen to me, like in my body. And I was just like, I can't, somebody needs to check on me. I need to stop pushing for a second. Like somebody please check on me. And I don't remember anybody checking on me, but you do. Cause I was just in that like, no. So apparently our team told me too, that like they stopped everything in that moment and like checked like all my vitals and everything to make sure everything was okay. And then told me to continue. So I continued. And then it was just like, and then she came out and it was the most like, it was the most like painful, but like powerful and like amazing feeling there was. And I don't know how to like explain it in a way that people get it unless you go through it. Because like I wouldn't be able to like comprehend it unless like I went through it. It was just like so magical and it was like a rush of like hormones in a good way. And like those final moments of pushing her out also felt like really good. It was painful, but it felt so good. And then having her in my arm and then not feeling disconnected and I just felt so connected to her. And also it was like the morning, I feel like that helped because like I had good rest, I woke up, and then it was 3 hours quick. And then like we look over, it's still the morning, 9 a.m. There's like a huge window, like the sun is like literally shining in on us, like full on. It just felt like amazing. I was just like, this is it. Like, this is what it's supposed to be like. I love this.
Oh, no.
Uh, yeah.
So powerful. I mean, it was just like, and sometimes it's like such a bummer as a doula to come in at the end because you're like, I wanted to be there from the start. And it's just like, I haven't missed many births, but I was really worried I was going to miss yours because you were so ripe and ready and your water broke. I'm like, oh gosh, this baby is coming so soon. And no, it was so powerful to watch you. And also it just it feels different, you know, when you've seen someone birth one baby and then you see them birth their second baby. It's just like, wow, like you tapped into something else with this birth. Like you were somewhere else, but you were still present. You were coping. There was no like, there was no suffering. It was like, this is freaking hard, but you were just, you were so powerful in that moment and trust. It felt like very trusting of like, oh, she's coming and I'm just gonna follow that urge. And it was incredible just to witness that birth. I'm just glad I was able to be there and just witness that. Like I was just like, this is what it's all about. It's so freaking magical. Oh
yeah, it felt so powerful. It felt so spiritual. It was just like otherworldly. It was really amazing. And then even like the time afterwards too, like postpartum during the hospital, it just like, I felt like me and Artine were just like in a whole different state of like feeling and mind. Like we were just so happy and like everything just felt great and perfect, or like as it should be. And then like I felt so heard from the hospital staff. I felt like you were, of course, like the first time, like so supportive. And it was just really nice to have you there as even just as like a presence of being there for my second birth again. Because that put me at ease and it helped me have the experience that I did have. So yeah, everything was just really nice.
No, I'm so honored to have been at both of your births and being able to see these two versions of you. You know, it's so incredible. And Artine he's just magical. He's just like, his presence also just brings like, he was just there for you. I mean, he was just so freaking supportive. Like, I mean, there's a lot of partners that aren't like always willing to like hop in and like get involved. Like, because you kind of feel like, oh, superior, like the hospital staff is superior and you're kind of down here. But he was like, he took charge, he had confidence, and he was just like, this is my woman and I'm going to protect her. Like, it was just the two of you, you know, it really was. I felt like you two would be able to do anything together, you know. It really is. It was just such an honor to be welcomed into your family and that I can continue to follow along all your crazy journeys because I love it all.
I mean, you too. You've moved
not alone.
Too.
Exactly. No, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're gonna do that. Yeah, do it. You know, we only live once. You'll never know. So I love following your journeys, and you two are just incredible humans and the cutest little daughters. Like, could not look more different, which I also think is so cool that you two have like literally there's no similarities, at least that I can't see. Maybe you can see.
No, totally. And it's so funny. I love it actually because it's so unique to their own selves. I mean, their personalities are, of course, like night and day as well. But then just like the genetics that they pulled from us is just so different. And like one's blonde, light eyes, fair skin. The other one looks more like me and Artine, like darker hair, darker eyes, darker skin. Just like opposite. And I love it. Like it's so beautiful.
Ooh, it's so cute. It's the cutest. Like I was just like, I don't know where Bahia got all those genes, but it skipped a couple generations or something. And then and then Nyla comes and she's just like,
Exactly.
yeah, they're beyond beautiful, you know,
Thank
they're just
you.
so beautiful. And I
Thank
love
you.
them
They're
grow.
they're the best. I'm so enjoying my time being a mom,
Oh,
especially a stay-at-home mom. It's the best.
oh,
Yeah.
God. You're living the dream. You're living the
I
dream.
am literally, yeah. I was just telling our team yesterday, I was just like, I'm so thankful for my life and for my family. Like every day, I'm just so thankful.
Mm.
We're, yeah, we're privileged for sure in a
Oh,
lot of ways.
oh. But also just is just so grounded also as humans. Like, you know you're privileged, but also like you don't like, yeah, you do so much for so many others. You know what I mean? You're just those people that just, yeah, I'm so grateful for you doing this, willing to tell your amazing birth stories and for taking this time. You have no idea how, I mean, I get so excited when I get to hear like the story from your experience.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, yeah, as a doula, I'm so glad and that we can continue to be friends and everything. But just, yeah, so grateful for your time and everything for today. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm so grateful for you too, again. And I'm so grateful that you came into my life at the time that you did, and you're continuing to see me in these different phases. And I get to do the same for you too now, which is so exciting. Yeah. Good luck on your journey too. Like best wishes. Everything's gonna be wonderful. And I can't wait to see your little baby in your arms.
Oh, I can't wait.